Diane with Bolan-Beaty Boogie. I asked Mark what he wanted to do for the show this week because I didn't have any ideas really. And he said, maybe we'll take a look at the energy on the earth and see if there's anything that we want to discuss. And so I said, great. And so right before I started tuning into Mark's energy, he was showing me this I could see it's like a low flowing fog that was covering the earth, but it was predominantly just above people. And I could see people walking around like underneath this fog, not really wanting to look up. And I thought, well, what is this? This doesn't look very pleasant. And he said, well, this is what they're seeing on earth right now. And so they wanted to bring it to our attention, talk about what it is, and then just alert us to it, and then give us the option to change it if we want. And they talk about that in the show, how to go about that. So I think it's a great show. It's something that I've been feeling personally, where things have just seemed like kind of overwhelming, and it's taking more effort on my part to really kind of just step out of day-to-day life and do something that really makes me excited and fun things. And because I was thinking to myself, didn't I come down here to have fun? And it seems like fun kind of gets shoved by the wayside sometimes when life takes over. And so I thought, well, what do I like to do? And I said, well, I like to travel. So I started planning a vacation, and I'm really looking forward to that. So it's just these type of things, and Spirit talks about how even doing something like that can kind of help move this fog along. So I hope you enjoy the show. Again, we do have a website, www.channelingmark.com. There's a lot of information on there from Spirit and Mark. So take a look when you get a chance. Yeah. Hello. Hello, I'm here. Yeah, Diane was waiting for me to come in. Hello, everyone. This is Mark. You may know me as Mark Bolan from the rock band T-Rex. I'm making my introductions. Yeah, and I'm here in the Spirit studio with some friends. Okay. Okay, and yeah, today we're gonna talk about So Spirit and myself, of course, we've been looking at the energy of the earth. Okay, and there's a lot of going on. Okay, of course you all know that there's a lot going on. Okay, but we're starting to see so we're looking at the earth, and we're starting to see some, how would we say this, not lower frequency, but there's some sadness. Okay, there's some sadness lingering, and it's starting to affect some of you. Okay, so we want to come and talk to you all about it. Okay, it's not lower frequency necessarily, but it is melancholy, and So I'll describe it. It's weighing on your shoulders. Okay, I can see this energy weighing on a lot of your shoulders, and you're bowing your head. Okay, so that means sadness. It means a little bit of, not just a little bit of despair in a way, but a little bit of hopelessness. And of course, and if you, Diane and I have this conversation about hope, and it's no. We're not in favor of hope. Okay, hope is one of those energies that, well, it can mean many things. Okay, it can mean many things, but hope in general is not very powerful. Okay, it's not very powerful. So if you feel that you are hoping something happens, or you hope that this job comes through, or you're no, it's a little bit passive. Okay, and it's of course, it's whatever you want to experience at that time. Okay, but in general, it tends to be so if you look at hope energy, it's kind of in between. It's really getting what you want in life, and not caring at all. Okay, and not caring at all can be something else. It could be that you're really into whatever happens, and you go with the flow, and you're not really setting an intention to do anything. Right. So that could be something that you want to experience as well. And then there are those who, who have very finite ideas about their life they're experiencing. Okay. But but today, I'm inviting some friends into the studio who are looking at this energy as well on Earth right now. And we just want to talk about it and see if we could all work together and come up with some ideas about, maybe moving some of this energy along, okay, up and along, and getting it out of your space, okay, getting it out of your general vicinity. Right. Okay, so so I've got my friends already here, and we're gonna have some other friends come in. Yep. Okay, I've got some friends. Here. Okay, Okay, and they're friends of mine, who are looking at the energy, like I said. Right. There's Julie here. I'm not going to go through everybody. It's more important today that we just talk about what's happening and offer whatever assistance we can, and just talk about it, okay? Because that's an important thing, okay? Let's talk about talking about it. Okay. Okay. So Julie, you're here. Front and center. You look. But I am going to describe you. You're in a very 60s outfit that Marc. As Marc, I would have been very familiar with that. Flower mini dress with a little scarf. And then we've got Thomas. Okay, Thomas. Julie. Okay, Thomas, Julie, and hold on, Thomas. Okay, so you're showing yourself to be a tall man with kind of frizzy hair. What? I'm getting eraser head. What's? What? Okay. But you have glasses. Okay, you have glasses. Okay. And then we've got Thomas, Julie, and wait, no, you're fuzzy. I can see you. David. Okay. Thomas, Julie, and David. Okay, David. David, you're kind of like the California, typical looking California surf, what do you call him? Dude? Something like that. You resent that. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. Well, that's what I was reading. Okay, but I was reading that wrong. You're saying you're very okay, you prefer the college graduate. Okay. What? Okay. So So you're all you three of you have looked at the energy, and I'm seeing some other spirits and energies behind you. Okay. So this shows. Okay. When I asked for anyone to come forward on the program today, this shows that there's a lot of energies and spirits who are thoughtful and concerned about this. Okay, because they're seeing this on your planet. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about, are you guys seeing anything different than I described earlier? And where are you seeing it? How are you seeing it? Okay, so they're saying that they're seeing this energy. Okay, it tends to be, I wouldn't, would you see it as a low frequency? They're saying they're not, kind of, but not necessarily that's bad. It's just that it's energy that is hesitating to leave. Okay, it's starting to get comfortable where it's at, and this is what's concerning them. Okay, because when energy starts getting really comfortable where it's at, it's going to be a little more difficult to get rid of it. Because it's comfortable, and so we're going to speak here about awareness that this is happening. Okay, because this is important. Okay, this is important, and unless you know something or you're aware of something, it's more often than not difficult to to let it go. Right. If you're living your life, and you can tell. Okay, you've given yourself all the what would you call it? Not production. You've given yourself everything you need. Okay, in order to find out about where your life's going, how happy. And you can use it. Hold on. When I get excited, I talk too fast, as Diane has mentioned before. Okay, let me just tune in again. Yep. Okay, good, 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 good. Yeah, so you can tell you've got your, I guess, temperature, if you want to say, about your happiness. So if you feel in general that maybe, yeah, you're starting to dread waking up in the morning. Things don't seem to be going your way. You don't really feel like you have a lot of positive outlets in life. Maybe it's yeah, the same old type of energy. Nothing too exciting. Okay. Yeah. So this type of energy. Okay. And if you feel where it might be in your aura, it could be on your shoulders. Okay. It could be on your shoulders. It could be on your forehead. It could be in your feet. It could be anywhere. Okay. But yeah, so take a minute. If you're feeling like this, maybe take a minute and just find out where it feels like it is at in your aura, okay, around you. And then, yeah, and then that's awareness of it. That's awareness of it. You could see it as a color. You could just feel it. Okay. So that's one of the first steps. Okay. To just recognize, to be aware that, yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe every day I'm not waking up happy. I'm not waking up excited. I'm not waking up thinking that this is going to be a great day. I'm not waking up thinking that things are going my way. I'm not waking up thinking that I've got, yeah, I mean, yeah, those around me who love me and who support me. And I support others, right? And yeah, that's up to you. That part's up to you, because you're experiencing what you want to experience, okay? But in general, well, it is, I think, important because you're down there to have an experience with others. So getting to know others, getting to have a relationship. Now, yeah, you can choose whatever relationships you want to have with others, okay? It could be loving, it could be vengeful, you can experience anything, and that's right or wrong for you. Okay, we're not judging here, but in general, it's important. It is important to have. Well, it is. I mean, you're independent beings. Okay, yeah, everyone knows that you're independent beings. So yeah, technically, you may not need anyone else or anything else to live this life, right? But you've come down here to be social. You've come down in a social planet with a lot of other individuals and energies and beings and animals around you. So you must have wanted to do this, okay? So then you can choose, okay, I'm going to be a very solitary individual and have no one around me. I'm going to be somebody who has maybe a few trusted friends around me. And I appear to get along with everyone around me. Or you could have a lot of friends and, whatever you want to choose to experience. So yeah, just look at that. Yeah, your support system is that. Yeah, if you want to have a support system, and we're assuming most of you probably do. And it could be not necessarily support, but just those around you. Okay. And that is well, I guess that's kind of a support, but yeah, it kind of is, but then you are offering that to them as well. Okay. So look at that and see, okay, is that where I would like it to be? Okay, so today, yeah, we're going to ask you to ask yourselves a lot of questions, okay, and just think about things. Yeah, because we're looking at this energy and we would like to be able to help you. We would like to help you. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes it just takes a few minutes to look at yourself, okay? Okay, and then, yeah, that's a good question. Good question, okay? Thomas is asking, well, maybe that's a good first step. Do you want to look at yourself? Ask yourself that. Are you comfortable looking at yourself? Right? Right. And yeah, ask yourself that. Does that make me uncomfortable? Ask yourself why. Okay, ask yourself why that would be. Yeah, because there could be things you don't want to look at. There could be situations in your life that you don't want to think about, right? So yeah, thank you, Thomas. That's a good question. That's a good starting point for everybody. Is this making you uncomfortable? Are you going to turn this off? Yeah. So yeah. Okay, and Julie, yeah, I know you've got some questions. Yeah, I mean, you've got some suggestions too coming up. Okay, so let's say you've asked yourself these questions already. Okay, then you're thinking, okay, well, where should I start? Where should I start? I've answered the few questions Marcus posed, but where do I go from here? Okay. Okay, you've seen the energy in your space. You're kind of you're comfortable with going ahead. Yeah, so no. I mean, we're not going to make this a drill necessarily because we want to actually make this fun. And it may not sound like it's fun, but it will be. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking back at my life as Marc as well. Okay. And I'm looking, yeah, I mean, many may feel that, yeah, I was a rock star. I had a lot of money. I was famous. I had a lot going my way. Not so much. Okay. Not so much. Part of that's true. Part of that's true. And I was very fortunate to get where I did. But a lot of it was based upon, yeah, being assertive about myself. Okay. And knowing that I could do what I wanted to do, having the intention and not giving up. Okay, so these are important. Okay, and these are things to look at when you're starting to feel like you're actually, okay, that's a good phrase, running behind yourself, running behind, meaning you're running behind the life that you thought you would be leading. Okay, it's almost if you're looking at yourself and thinking, this isn't where I wanted to be. This isn't where I meant, yeah, but you are where you are. Okay, so you can let that one go. But if that feels like that, Kate, yeah, if it feels like that, then ask yourself, okay, well, I am where I'm supposed to be because this is the life I created for myself. Now, if I don't want to be here, what am I going to do about it, right? And then you have to stop there. If you start thinking, well, this person should have done this, or this person has to do this before I'm happy, then no. This is you. This is you. Okay. So that's what? Yeah. Okay. Julie's bringing up the fact that, yeah, I mean, there's taking responsibility for the life that you've created. Okay. And so so she's saying that's an important thing to remember. Okay, that's an important thing to remember because you're the only one responsible for who you are and the life that you're leading, right? And that takes, sometimes that's a hard, what are you saying, Julie? It's a hard bridge to cross, or it's a hard hurdle to leap, or some type of metaphor like that. Or yeah, whatever, yeah. Because it is hard. It is hard to think that, well, things might have happened to me in my past that were not pleasing. And that's it. But then you have to think, okay, well, there's no one who's going to change my life except me. Okay. So when you look at it like that, it's actually a positive thing. Okay. It's actually a positive thing because you can let go of relying on anyone else, right? Because yeah, is that really going to work if you think about it? If you've used that in the past, how has that worked? Okay, because no. Yeah, but it's a very powerful feeling when you think to yourself, or you not think to yourself necessarily, but you empower yourself with the ideal and the intention that I am responsible for my life. If I'm unhappy, that's on me. If I'm happy, great. Right. Okay, thanks, Julie. Yeah. Do you want to? No. Okay. What? Yeah. David. Yeah. David. Yep. Okay, David. Yeah, you're gonna talk soon. Okay, great. I'll wait. Okay. Yeah. So let's think about this. Okay. So yeah, if you get and you say, okay, well, you know what? That feels like kind of good. That feels kind of good. You know, it's I've thought about that before in the past, but it's never kind of stuck. Right? But if I'm thinking about that kind of, it's scary. Okay, maybe you think you feel a little scared by that or a little intimidated by that. But when you start really feeling that and setting the intention that that's how powerful you are, things might start changing. That doesn't sound right. Things may begin changing for you. Okay? Yeah. You're in control of all of this. You're in control of your life. You're in control of whether or not you want to change it. Okay? Yeah. It depends on baby steps, okay? If you want to take baby steps, fine. If you want to say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make a lot of changes that I feel are going to be positive for me. It's up to you. Or you can say, I need to move at a slower pace, okay? And you have to look at things about how you want to change it. and where you want to change it. Okay. Maybe you're sitting here thinking, well, you know, I'm really happy and I don't really need to change anything. And so, but at least you've looked at it. Okay. And it's important to check in with yourself. How often do you guys think they should? Yeah. Well, okay. They're saying once a week. Yeah. Maybe make a date with yourself. Make a certain day, make it regular and say, okay, well, I'm just checking in with myself and I'm seeing where I'm at. And do I like it? Okay. And then look at what happened to you. Maybe, yeah, I mean, we're all in current time. Okay. But yeah, you don't have to necessarily look at what you did the previous week. How are you in that current time right there and then, right? Mm-hmm. How are you feeling? How are you? And then you go on from there. Okay. Because you can only change what's happening now. You can only change current time because that's what you're in. Right? Okay. Okay. So let's say you're checking with yourself and you're like, well, you know, something still feels off. Right? Okay. Yeah. And this is what, yeah. David's, yeah, even though you say you're not the California, surfer. No, you're not. Okay. You're, okay. Well, yeah. But you're the fun guy. You're the fun guy. Okay. You can be stern, but you're fun. Okay. Yeah. So he's saying, okay, well, let's bring in some fun. Right? Let's bring in some fun. Okay. So this energy that we're seeing, on the planet, and okay, well, it's in a lot of places. We're mostly seeing it in cities. Okay. In cities. Not so much of course you wouldn't see it as much because there's probably not as many people or energies in rural areas. Areas. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so yeah. Now, so David is saying he's not seeing a lot of necessarily fun things happening in your lives right now, okay? And this is part of this energy. This is part of this energy. Now, if you're feeling, because he's saying that he's seeing this is what you were looking at. This is the energy, David was looking at specifically. They kind of broke it up. You guys kind of broke it up, okay? So, and it is okay. So he's saying it is very easy to have a routine. Okay, you get up in the morning, you go to work, you come back from work. You what do you think? Putter. You go, you maybe do a few things around house. The house, or go out and buy groceries. You spend some time with your family, and of course, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing that's usually people's lives, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, but he's seeing less and less of freedom. Okay, the feeling of freedom. I can do other things. I have the option of not being, of not being, where's the freedom? Where's the freedom to feel spontaneity? Where's the freedom that you're giving yourself to go out and do something you never thought you would do? Take a class, take a vacation, right? So he's saying that this is lessening. He's seeing this type of energy lessen in a lot of people. And it's important to look at that and say, do I want to bring some of that back? Now he's saying, the energy that he's looking at, and I'm looking at it as well. Maybe you can't do that every day. Okay, maybe it gets overwhelming. You feel like you're lucky that you made it through the day, type of thing, right? And but try not to do that every day is what he's saying. Or if you can, look at that and say, okay, well, day after day after day after day after day of that, where's my true self? Where's the fun? Where's the child in me? Well, as Mark, number one child. And that was really precious to me, okay? That was really precious to me, to not lose that childlike feeling that I had within myself. I never was fully in a really I was an adult. I was living as Mark Bolan in an adult world, but I always held on to the belief of fantasy, to the belief of, and fantasy isn't necessarily meaning, fantasy is not, things aren't real, that most people consider fantasy, because a lot of them are, but they've just been downplayed to something that no one's going to believe, okay? But as Mark, I did believe it. Of course, I knew certain things probably weren't true, but I knew there was an afterlife. I knew I was pulling information from spirit. I knew that there were beings that others didn't want to admit to. So, and yeah, and there was a playfulness about me, and that was, well, I must say it did make me endearing. It did, it did, it did. And I'm still like that. I'm still like that. And that was something that I highly valued as Marc. Right, 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 right. And yeah, it was hard time. It was hard at times. Yeah, functioning in an adult world. And sometimes I chose not to. But yeah. So, but yeah, that's what David's saying. Yeah, think about the child you were. Think about, yeah, not necessarily, well, yeah, children are innocent of certain things, but think about the best aspects of being a child, having that fantasy, quote unquote, world. And then just, yeah, remembering when anything was possible, when you were really fine with who you are, right? Right. Things like that. So hearken yourself back to how you felt as a child and how free you felt. Most of the time. I mean, it is very difficult to be a child because you're told what to do all the time. But you did have, yeah. So you could go out and play and have fun and not be kind of involved in the outside world. You had yourself, yeah, and you were happy. Yeah, you were generally happy as that child, right? So David is suggesting maybe just look back, not look back necessarily, but that child's still there. Okay, that child, just getting in tune with that child again and saying, okay, yeah, that was a great time. And even though I'm an adult now, I can still feel that. I can still feel what that was like, right? Okay, yeah. And yeah, so yeah, David's also saying, okay, you need to take a break from maybe, okay? That might help. Take a break from things and really put the effort into doing something different for yourself, okay? Something that is going to bring you joy, something that is going to make you happy. And, obviously, some people have to work every day. Right. And maybe that's not what you would like to do. So you had really, yeah, that's what David's saying. You really have to make an effort to change things and go on vacation, go out to a park every day. It seems like, how is that going to change things? It will. Okay, it will. Think about things that you maybe had wanted to do, things that you wanted to learn. There's no time like now. Okay, there's no time like now, David is saying. Right. And so if you think about it, if everyone was doing this, if everyone was taking the time to look at their lives and say, okay, well, I have to do the basics, but there is time for myself, and I'm going to use that time to the best of my ability and really open up myself to new things. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to be, or if it's just reading a book, all right? Or if it's just watching your favorite movie, but try to do something, he's saying, that really awakens the creative individual in you. Okay, whatever that may be. Learn a new language, okay? Okay? Plan a trip and go to another country, okay? Yeah, just maybe think, okay, what would be something that would be, I wouldn't think that I would normally do, okay? And then look at that. What would that be? Okay, great. Thank you, David. Okay. Yeah. So the point of this is that if everyone started doing this, if everyone took the time on the planet to do this, that energy that we're seeing, that lower kind of foggy energy, would change. It would change. Okay, it would change. It would be enlightened. It would be not so dense. Okay. Yeah, and it's an important time to look at this right now because this is what we're seeing. Right. And so we want to be here to just say, okay, well, we're seeing this, and we want, we want to help. We really do want to help. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? What? Thomas, you have something that you want to say? Oh, okay. Yeah. So Thomas is kind of, he is suggesting that many of you, okay, are a little bit hung up on past energy, okay? That's something that you're finding it hard to let go of. What happened to you as a child? What happened to you last week? What somebody said? How you felt about yourself? How you felt about yourself? Is that right? that would be like more how you feel about yourself, okay? But he's saying that kind of lingers, okay? So he's saying, what are you saying? Yeah. Okay. So he is saying, look at any way that you might be able to let that go now. Okay. And he's saying that's tough. That can be very tough. Okay. But the past, yeah. And worry is something that I talk to Diane a lot about. Okay. So if you if you look at your space right now, are you worried about something? Are you concerned about something? Yeah. Because worry is energy that goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. No. So yeah, worry energy is well, it doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't accelerate, go forward type of energy. It keeps you kind of in a limbo land. Yeah, because it's fear energy. Yeah, it's fear energy, and it just is like, it's like this fog energy. It's like this fog energy. So Thomas is saying, yeah. If you can do, it's part of the being in current time. It's part of being in current time. If you're completely in current time, you're not thinking about what happened in the past. You're not thinking about what's going to happen in the future. And so it does take practice if you're not there. It does take practice, okay? But how do you do that? Okay, how do you stay in, well, you are in current time. Okay, so if you can just start with that, you are in current time, right? And if you find yourself reminiscing or thinking about things that happened in the past, everyone's going to do that. There's no way you're going to prevent that. It's just reminding yourself when you're doing that. If you're thinking about something that happened to you 20 years ago and it's still haunting you, basically, update that energy. You can update that energy. And it's basically just saying something to yourself like, and it might take many times, but yeah, saying to yourself, okay, well, this happened to me 20 years ago. I am letting this image, I am letting the emotions involved with this energy, because it's all energy, okay? It's all energy. Thoughts are energy. So if you just remind yourself that, okay, this is current time. That happened at another current time. It's not affecting me anymore, and I am going on with my life, okay? So whatever you can, and you can ask your guides for help with this. To support you in this, if you would like. Because they are there to do that as well. Right. Okay. So So he's saying that would be a positive or a step forward for many people, because he's saying that he sees a lot of people whose energy is kind of stuck in this kind of past energy that isn't really past, but Okay. Julie, do you have anything you want to add to that? Okay. Yeah, you are much more in current time. Well, you are focused more on looking at the current time energy, right? And how are you seeing that for most people on the earth? Okay. What? Right. Well, she's saying that's what she's seeing. But okay. Yeah. So she's seeing an overwhelming, not need necessarily, but desire. People are feeling this energy, this foggy energy, and some are more complacent. Others are thinking to themselves, this doesn't feel right, and what can I do to stop it? Because she's saying it's not only an individual energy, it's more like a group energy. It's more like a group energy or a planet type of energy. And she's saying it's going to take, and we've talked about this on the show, she's saying it might take more effort on your part to kind of shake yourself out of it. And when you, as an individual, shake yourself out of it, that will have a ripple effect to everyone else and this energy in general. Okay, so, but you have to start with you, obviously, because that's all you can do, right? And then when you look at this energy and say, okay, well, this doesn't even feel like my energy. This feels like energy maybe from a group or a country or the planet, okay? And this feels foreign to me because this isn't who I want to be. So, but when you look at it, you can recognize, okay, well, maybe this isn't my energy, or maybe it is, and then say, okay, well, I want to change this. And I'm going to start right now because this is current time and I can change whatever I want. And I'm going to let this go. Okay. And then that will have, as I said, a ripple effect to everyone and to the planet. Right. Okay, great. Okay. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And if you have any questions, you can always ask your guides for assistance, right? Even if you're not on a one-to-one basis with your guides. And you can send me, no, I'll take questions too. I'll take questions too if I can. Right. Send you back something if I can. Yep. I will do that if it's allowed. If it's allowed in your energy space, if you have allowed that. Okay, everybody. This is Marc signing off. Thank you to my guest, Thomas, Julie, David, and to my friends in the studio here. And I'll be back on the show soon.